Hey guys, thank you for clicking on today's video and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please subscribe, and for the returning subscribers, asanteni sana for being here. Thank you so much for your support, your consistency in supporting me. I really appreciate that. So it's around 7:30. I had some early morning errands to run, so I just came back home and I figured why not make some mandazi for breakfast. So everyone else is still sleeping. That's why I want to take this time, because the baby is also sleeping, to make the mandazi. So basically this video is going to be me showing you how I make my mandazi, and I hope you'll find this tutorial helpful. If you've never made mandazi, or if you've made mandazi and you want to try out different ways of making them, this is the video for you. So stick around until the end and I hope you'll enjoy the video. So without wasting much time, let's get to the kitchen, start cooking the mandazi. Okay guys, so for this recipe, you'll need a cup of sugar. I'm using white sugar. And then you'll also need margarine or butter if you have. This is around 50 grams of margarine that I'll be using. And then I have a cup of milk. This is warm milk. You can use almond milk if you're lactose intolerant, or you can also use water if you don't have milk. This is lemon zest from one big lemon, which I washed and grated so that I can incorporate it well into my dough. And for this, I'm going to use self-raising flour, 3.5 cups. But if you don't have self-raising flour, you can use all-purpose flour, but remember to use baking powder for that. So that flour that I've set aside is for dusting if need be. Again, like I said, if you're using all-purpose flour, you can add baking powder at this point. Do not forget the baking powder. So I'm now going to start mixing everything together. I'm starting with the sugar, and then I'll just mix that with my hand. If you have a hand whisk, you can use that. Not with the electric attachment, you can just use the hand whisk itself. So I'm going to keep mixing the sugar into the flour using my hand until I can feel the grains of sugar on almost every part of the flour. That would show that the sugar has been well incorporated into the flour. I'll now go in with my margarine. I'll scoop it out of the bowl using a spoon, and then I'll also mix it into the dough using my hand again. As you can see, it's a pretty simple and straightforward recipe. You don't need fancy equipment or fancy ingredients to make your mandazi. It's just something that you can actually whip up every morning if you have the resources, or every evening, and it's a tasty snack too. So I'll mix this pretty well until I can't feel any clumps of margarine and flour. I'm going in now with my lemon zest. I'll mix it by hand until it's well incorporated again, and then I'll go in with my milk. I'll add the milk gradually to the flour while I knead my dough. And guys, an important tip is that when you're kneading the dough, make sure not to overwork the dough, because something I realized, especially with this food stuff that uses wheat flour, like let's say if you're making cakes and you overmix your butter, the cake will be dense. You'll not get a fluffy and soft cake. The cake will be really dense and it won't be tasty, if I could say. And also when it comes to chapatis and mandazis, if you overwork the dough, the chapatis will be tough, the mandazis will be tough. It's because when you're kneading, the gluten activates and it really toughens things. So you just want to knead your dough until it's not sticky and everything is mixed well together, and then you can leave it at that, unless the recipe calls for intense kneading, but I'm yet to come across such recipes. So bottom line, be careful not to overmix or overwork your dough. I'm now covering my dough and then I'll let it rest for a few minutes before I can come back again to start the preparations for cooking. It's been close to 15 minutes, I'd say 15 to 20 minutes. My dough has rested. I now want to work it on the surface as I cut out the shapes and then cook the mandazi. The consistency is just how I usually like it. So if you follow the recipe, you'll get the same results. So let me let you in on a little secret. You can use oil when you're rolling your dough on the surface, whether you're making chapatis or mandazi. So if you don't want to use flour, because sometimes flour makes the dough stiff, you can use oil as an alternative. So I'm using a knife to divide the dough so that I can section it into two, making it easier to work with instead of working with one large dough. I'm going to use this wooden rolling pin to roll the dough on the surface, and then the knife to cut the various shapes that I want for each of the doughs separately though. Now I'm just rolling them to my desired thickness, but remember, if you make them too thick, zitaanza kuungua nje and they'll not have cooked on the inside, so be careful. Okay, so since I don't want to be moving back and forth while cooking and cutting, because I don't want anything to burn, I'm going to cut out the shapes in advance for both doughs so that when I start cooking, I'll just be doing the cooking. So that's what I'm going to do now. Cut out the shapes, set them aside. My oil is already heating up, so that will be ready by the time I'm finished cutting the shapes for both doughs. I mentioned earlier that my oil was already heating up. I'm going to test it using my mwiko, but if you have a wooden skewer, you can use that. So I'll insert it into the oil, and if bubbles start forming around it, you'll know your oil is ready. Mine is ready, as I can see from the bubbles. So I'm going to start cooking the mandazi now, and the lemon zest in the dough is smelling really nice. I know the mandazis are going to taste very delicious. Honestly, my favorite part about making cooking vlogs is the aftermath. I really get to enjoy what I've cooked. It really keeps me motivated. My loves, I've been making videos for you guys for close to 2 months now, and if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, girl, you're letting a sister down. So hit the subscribe button, turn on the post notification bell, and give the video a thumbs up. Let it circulate, let more people learn how to make mandazis and all that amazing stuff that I've already put out in the videos. Please subscribe. I really appreciate it, and we're on the road to 200 subscribers. I know you guys are amazing, and we can do it. We can actually surpass that 200. So share the video with your friends as well, and thank you for being here. Okay, back to the main reason for this video. You're going to cook the mandazi for around 3 to 5 minutes. So once you toss them in the oil, keep checking them. Once the first side browns, flip them over, let the other side cook. With mandazis or mahamri, you don't want to let them sit in the oil for too long, so you'll have to keep flipping them regularly. Also, because you're dipping them in at different times, you want to check that, because some will cook faster than the others. So you need to stand guard. Actually, you can't afford to do anything else once you get to this point. Our mandazis are D for done, or as my dad would say, mandasi meiva. So you guys, Aki, please subscribe. The videographer was in a very awkward position in this kitchen trying to get you all those nice views. Mungemona mngeisha too. Please subscribe to keep him motivated to help me in the filming. But yeah, I'm now going to prepare the black tea so that we can take breakfast. This is how the mandazis turned out. They tasted so yum. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Give the video a thumbs up and turn on the post notification bell. See you on the next video, you guys. Bye.